2-on-1 drills are drills where players in two positions play against a single player. Here's your standard 2-on-1, where the pro feeds a single ground stroker side to side. Volleyers shuffle right to left to cover the angle of the ball. The same drill can also be done at random. Here the pro has the baseline player work on his down-the-line ground stroke, following through to the volleyers as they move in and split step. Again, the same drill with the student working on the cross-court ground stroke. Here's how you handle a larger class with 3 people at the net. Players weave around the basket. In this variation, the volleyers get to stay until they make a mistake. Once an error is made, the odd volley route gets to come in and take his place. This is a plus and minus drill where the pro designates a certain number of ground strokes the baseliner must make. They add up and down, subtracting 1 for every miss and adding 1 for every ball over the net. Here's a good overhead control drill. The pro feeds up the lob to the net player. He hits the overhead from one corner, then to the next. Players on the baseline try to control the lob return back to the overhead hitter. Here's a rotation drill where the pro feeds side to side a certain number of shots to the baseliner. Upon completion of this certain number, all the players shift, 1 spot to the left. The next player comes around and begins the drill. Here's the standard 2-on-1 drill where they play out the point. There's 2 variations of this. The first would be to have the baseliner alone stay until he wins up to 7 points. The other variation, which is a little more competitive, is to play a certain amount of time and see which one of the 3 players can win the most points in, say, for example, 2 minutes. Again, a 2-on-1 drill, but the emphasis here is on control from the baseliner. He hits the ball to one player and then to the next. They try to keep the ball in play. Here the players can feed to themselves. The 2 players on the baseline alternate feeding the shots, one player feeding the lob for the net man to hit the overhead, then the other player feeding the volley immediately after. In this drill, the pro feeds to the volleyer who moves side to side, hitting the ball down the line. The baseliners work on their lob recovery, put the lob back up over the net player's head. The same drill can be done with the volleyer going cross court and the baseliners hitting their lob cross court. This is a similar drill to one we used earlier, but this time we have 1 player at the net alone with 2 on the baseline. Pro feeds the initial ball in play, and they play it out. You can use, again, the 2 variations. You can play up to a certain number of points, or play for a certain amount of time. This is the same competitive drill, started as a lob, played out the same way. To keep the net player guessing, you can also start it as a volley, or just mix it up to keep them off guard. For this drill, use the singles court only on both sides. Players come in one at a time off the pro's short feed and play out the point 2-on-1. Having two players cover the singles court makes the volleyer work much harder to actually win the point. This drill works on the control reflex volley. The single player works to keep the ball going, alternating his volley side to side, regardless of whether it's a forehand or a backhand volley to him.